Alright, hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the beef that went on between Kyle Kulinski and Cenk Uygar. Now, Kyle Kulinski did respond to this on his own YouTube channel, Secular Talk. So, I'm just going to basically voice my opinions on everything that essentially went on between them. I'm not really going to try and attack them because they are both respectable men. Even though I do disagree with Cenk Uygar much more often than I disagree with Kyle Kulinski, who I don't even think I've ever disagreed with him on anything. However, let's just get right into it. So, randomly one day, Cenk Uygar tweets, Joe Biden has 1,000 problems. I'll fight like hell to move him toward progressive positions. I'll almost certainly help to primary him in 2024, but not voting is still taking action. It doesn't make you morally superior to those who make hard choices. It may do the opposite. So then Kyle Kulinski comes out of nowhere and he's like, yo, wait, so I might be morally inferior for not picking one of the two corrupt war criminals? Am I reading this right? How interesting. Personally, I think that's dumb ass shit. Come on, bro. Come on. I mean, let's just move on. Why? So Cenk comes back again. Yes, you're reading that right. Yes, he's reading that right. George Bush and Adolf Hitler are both war criminals. Are you saying that not voting for either in an election between the two is the morally correct position? Because it most definitely isn't. Come on the show and let's have a real discussion on it. Why? And then Kyle Kulinski says, why would I debate if I'm morally inferior? Can I call you a wife beater and then tell you to debate me on it? Not voting is an option. Stop pretending it isn't and shaming those who choose it. We aren't shaming you. Well, we're on the hypotheticals. David Duke versus Richard Spencer. Go. So, yes. We shouldn't really voter shame anyone. We should just defend ourselves against those people who do voter shame us. Because those people who do voter shame us are pieces of garbage. Because they think we're entitled to essentially vote the same way they do. Even if we do hold the same beliefs, just not on voting. So, George Bush and Adolf Hitler. Let me tell you something. At least Adolf Hitler made the country better for his Aryan race of people. George Bush probably murdered the same, if not more, with his actions, and his essentially his control by Dick Cheney, than Hitler might have done. I mean, I don't know. You could look at the numbers, but I'm pretty sure the amount of people who have been killed by these endless wars, which were mostly sparked by 9/11 and Dick Cheney and George Bush, I'm pretty sure, since the numbers keep just piling on and adding up, I'm pretty sure at this point, if you add them all together, that George Bush has killed more people than Adolf Hitler. And again, George Bush, I don't ever remember him doing anything for the people. He's a hardcore Republican with a low IQ who knows nothing other than to do what he's told, especially when it comes to, funneling money into military contractors, which are in the government, such as Dick Cheney and Don Rumsfeld's corporations. And again, they stole money, and they didn't. I don't remember them even helping any of the people in America. I mean, George Bush even said he doesn't like black people. Shit. Joe Biden said he doesn't like poor people many times in his life. So if I'm black and George Bush says he doesn't like black people, do you want me to vote for George Bush? If Joe Biden says he doesn't like poor people, and I'm a poor person, you really expect me to vote for that guy who said he doesn't like me and people like me? Do you really I'm not even defending Hitler, to be honest, because they're both obviously evil. But it just goes to show you shouldn't have to vote for either of these war criminals, dude. Like, you shouldn't have to vote for either of them. The fact that you get so many elections where the top two candidates do come out looking like George Bush versus Adolf Hitler, should be a red flag that the two-party system doesn't belong in a democracy that preaches freedom. We need proportional representation in a direct democracy. That's what we need. That's what, like, we're not even in the top 10 list of democratic democracies in the world, man. Like, this is so ridiculous. Like, literally, this is so ridiculous. If there was a third option, what would Cenk's argument be? It would probably be the same. But when there's a mass amount of people who think like that, those are the people who killed the third party. Those people who say it's not viable are the ones who make it not viable by saying that and refusing to lend their support and their manpower and make it viable. Like, literally, it's just... So... Let's see. Give me a sec. I just need to double check something. Alright, so then Cenk Uygar says, for every leftist who thinks it's brilliant to sit out this election, I'm genuinely curious, what's your end game? Okay, Trump wins again, and then what happens? When do you pop out of the birthday cake and yell surprise as you take over the country? How would that work? Can't wait. Then Kyle Kulinski says, literally nobody has said it's brilliant to sit out the election. I'm sitting out because I don't want to vote for a corrupt war criminal. I have no endgame, which is more honest than having one. That involves voting for the exact policies and leadership you despise. There you go. Let me tell you, Joe Biden is most likely going to pick Amy Klobuchar as his vice president. And would you look at that? She's the most right Democrat in the whole freaking Congress. Probably. Damn right, she's the most right-wing Democrat that ran for president in 2020. So, it's essentially voting for the same person. We're not even getting two choices. Like, literally, the only difference between Democrats and Republicans is some social issues. That's literally the only difference. I mean... Come on, dude. We should, like... On top of that, let's okay, so this is why mostly I hate Joe Biden. Joe Biden has dementia. His VP's been vetted by billionaires. He has so many he has the most billionaire donors, aside from Trump, in this election, probably. Actually, since the whole time, aside from Pete Buttigieg, probably. He was probably the only one giving Joe Biden a run for his money in terms of the list of billionaire donors that they both have. When they were vetting, while they were vetting for people for the VP position, it was literally leaked that the VP, when vetting, the most important quality they were looking for someone was, let's say, their ability to rush to take control of a chaotic situation, aka. As soon as Biden wins president, he's probably going to somehow kick the bucket, get replaced by a VP who was vetted by billionaires, whose number one quality they were looking for was, are they a puppet? How wooden are they? How much of a puppet are they? Are they a real boy? Because if they're a real boy, they're not getting the job. But if they're a puppet, they're getting the job for damn sure. So, just shows you how literally voting for Biden is literally putting the presidency in the pockets of billionaires, giving them more control than they've ever had in America. And you probably thinking, yeah, they already have the most control in America right now. But it can get worse with Joe Biden. See, at least Trump, he's trying to make himself rich. So he's probably not even doing all this shit to make the rich richer for the rich. He's probably just doing it for himself because he's known as a selfish prick. So, if you think about it, Joe Biden, he's like, Trump could literally probably be making legislation to screw over some people with his tax legislation or something. Like, you know, he's a capitalist and he's a billionaire, so he's competing with all the other billionaires. He's not their friends. I'm sure he's friends with some, but like Joe Biden, he's not a billionaire. He's just the guy who gets paid by billionaires to do whatever the billionaire says. He's not in competition with the other billionaires. He's just the puppet. So Joe Biden presidency could literally hand the White House and eventually the Supreme Court to the billionaires. But nobody understands this. They just think Trump bad. Trump orange. Presidents shouldn't be orange. Orange is a bad color. Orange means you're bad. Like, that's no excuse to prop up Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't even represent anything on the Democratic Party platform. Nothing. And he has never, ever, ever, this entire election cycle, put out any plans for any policies, for anything. He just says his positions on stuff and lies about his record on national television, and nobody ever fact checks him because everyone is a ick writing on his freaking ick. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all stands defending him. Like, there's no other way around it, dude. Like, Joe Biden is an evil human being. So, real quick before we end off, I did like this right here. Kyle Kulinski retweeted this Michael Jordan gif. It's pretty nice. It just says, "I've been informed I'm morally inferior to this person." And then he retweets the article that went viral saying, "Journalist says she would vote for Biden even if he boiled babies and ate them." So that Kyle Kulinski says he's morally inferior to that person, apparently. Oh, Kyle Kulinski. And then, and look, just as I was speaking, if you look at the image right here, this image literally says, why are these two groups at odds with each other? They agree on practically everything. And it's a picture of Biden for president and Trump 2020. And would you look at that? On all the issues, they're essentially the same. The same. We don't even have a two-party system, dude. We have a one-party oligarchy. And that's it. So join a movement for a People's Party, because I'm tired of this crap. And it's pretty logical that we do have the manpower and the support to create a third party. It just takes everyone to stop doubting the chances that a third party has at surviving in this two-party system. Because we'll never get proportional representation until we fight for it and follow through with that fight and never give up or bend the knee.